Hello and welcome everyone. I'm the Upper Down, aka Tud, and today we're going to be continuing our Dark Souls 2 playthrough here. Alright, we are currently character level 22. We've been investing a little bit into some of our stats here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. We have 12 in Vigor, which is health points. That puts us at 1,035 health. We have a 10 in Endurance. It puts us at 100 stamina. We have a 9 in Vitality. That has to do with our equipment load. We are at 52. As you see on the bottom right-hand side, we are at 31.8% carrying capacity, so we are still rather light as far as our equipment goes. Attunement, we are at 7. Unfortunately, that is not high enough to unlock any spell slots yet. That is something to consider in the future, though. We are at 6 in Strength and 9 in Dexterity, each of those affecting attack power depending on the equipped weapon. Adaptability, we are at 12. That has the modifier of Agility, which has a hidden bonus to your roll speed. So if you're fighting an enemy and you're noticing that you are not getting away from their attacks fast enough, I would recommend putting points into adaptability to counter their attacks faster with your rolls and dodges and such. Intelligence and faith there at the bottom. Each of those influence a different type of magic. Intelligence being magic, base magic, fire and lightning. Faith being lightning and dark. They both sort of work together in regards to lightning to help boost the damage there. And right now our character is focused on adaptability, health and stamina, and that is primarily it. Once we get the stats required to be a bit more tanky, we can move on to other options as far as where to allocate our stat points. Now, I do believe in our last video we defeated the last giant. There is one boss left in this area. We could give him a try. I don't know how this fight is going to go, but it is always worth a try. Let's go ahead and clear the bottom here, and we will work our way up. Ah, he turned. You're not supposed to turn. Oh no, I fell down the hole. Not good. Well, we will simply go ahead and reset that. That will send him back to the starting point here. Anytime you're worried you may die, but you are close enough to a bonfire to reset, I definitely recommend that. It will fully reset your health and give you another opportunity. Love dual daggers. One of my favorite playsets. The only concern is long-ranged opponents, such as this one, hitting you before you've set up. We have the enemy up top who throws bombs. Let's go ahead and try to knock him down. Alright, we have successfully taken him out. These enemies you can pull one at a time, so no concern there. Ah, I see they've decided to come together. Okay. They don't normally do that. Oh, didn't roll far enough. let's go ahead and heal up here. Alright, and this is a boss arena, so do be careful of that in your playthroughs. If you're playing in the original version, this arena will simply have the pursuer that you see in front of us here. If you're playing in the patched version, the expansion if you will, there is a group of enemies here as well that will attack you if you get too close to them, just making the fight that much more challenging. I'm doing next to no damage to this guy. I'm afraid my weapons might actually break before I'm able to kill this guy. Definitely have to be careful of that blue sword attack that he does. It will curse you and reduce your health until you restore it with a human effigy. I wonder if I have any other weapons for when this one breaks. Oof. Didn't move far enough. A little bit of a lag spike there. Also, be careful not to fall off the platform. As soon as you do, the boss will despawn, even if he knocks you off of said platform. My best strategy that I've found so far for this boss is to stay at a distance, let him charge in, and do his combo. Granted, it only works if you're able to get out of the way of it. Go ahead and pop another one here. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Rolling is your best friend against this boss. Got him down to just under half health here. Rolled at the wrong moment. Trying to make sure that I stay far enough away so I don't get caught in his sword slam attack at the end, because that is, of course, the most powerful attack that he does. Now, the side swipe isn't necessarily as bad, so I will happily get hit by that one if I have to. Yeah, that one would be painful. Daggers are at risk of breaking, so now we have to switch weapons. Will I have enough throwing daggers to finish this? Let's find out. Oops, faced the wrong direction. Gotta be more careful. Oops, rolled right into him. Oops. Hit me so hard I lagged. I will end up breaking my weapons here, but I think it's worth it. Fantastic. We beat the boss, we got the Ring of Blades and the Soul of the Pursuer, using only daggers and throwing knives. That is, for the record, my first time ever having done that. We're going to go ahead and equip that Ring of Blades. I do not need the life ring. The Ring of Blades will increase our physical damage, making us much tankier. Alright, and that also means the boss door is now open, so we can go to the next zone after this. Oh, my follow-up did not land. Right. Didn't necessarily need to clear that out, but gathering a few extra souls can't hurt. Got a winged spear. Alright. Got a turtle bro here, gotta deal with real quick before I get blown up. He is not friendly at all. Got out of there just in time. Old ironclad armor. It is nice defensive gear, however, it is heavy as heck. Wouldn't recommend it unless you're specifically going for a high vitality playthrough. Alright, picked up some souls and some more life gems, that's good. Help replenish the stock we used during the boss fight. And this is the actual boss arena. This is where the game intends for you to fight that first boss. Or, I'm sorry, the second boss, technically. The Lost Giant is considered the first boss, but you could fight either first. You have a tree here. And in this, I don't know what you'd call this hole here, there is actually some items down here. There's actually a corpse here with some items. Drangleic sword, Drangleic shield, and the Drangleic armor, minus the helmet. Alright, we will simply move on past these guys as we've now opened the next area, so we're going to go ahead and move on to that. Now, depending on which way you choose to go, whether you turn left at the bonfire in Majula or if you turn right at the bonfire in Majula, you may end up at a different area for your second area. So the area we're going to technically is the second area if you go left. It directly follows the Forest of Fallen Giants. Alright, we have entered the Bastille. Now, depending on whether you're playing the classic version of this game or the updated version of this game, you will either have a room with a bonfire in it and nothing else, or a room with a bonfire and 2 chests. One of the 2 chests has an item in it that is required for a certain NPC. I won't give any spoilers. And if you don't have that specific item, he will not perform the functions that he would normally. So, yes, we unfortunately, because we are playing the classic version, will not be able to access his character options, if you will. We are having a heck of a time with this swordsman. Let's go ahead and knock the barrel down to blow up everything down bottom. And again, depending on which version of the game you are playing, you will either have a room with a chest in it and nothing else, or you will have a room with a boss in it. Yes, that's right. In the updated version, there is actually a boss in this room. I am absolutely getting my butt kicked. He has quite the range. And a strange hitbox, too, I might add. If you're standing directly behind him, occasionally your attacks will miss, simply from the visual hitbox not being where you think it should be. Alright, we have 28,500 souls at the moment. We have to be careful here because the way that we came from over here, there is not a way to go back to. So the only way for us now to unlock the next bonfire for us to rest is down and to the left here. We have to successfully break a wall with a barrel. Let's go ahead and meet the
What is it?
NPC here.
I don't know you, and you don't know me. Things are better that way. You are an odd one. Normally, people keep a safe distance when they see this mask. But you... I'm called Lucatil. From the land of Mira to the far east, across the mountains. They say Drang Lake brims with powerful souls. And so I came to claim my share. But what a strange place. Even the rumors did not prepare me. You are an odd one indeed. I've always made a point of avoiding people, while you've made a point of engaging me. I can see that you are mid-journey. If you require assistance, I will help you. I come from Mira, a land of knights. My sword is always ready. Don't hesitate to call upon me. Whatever happens, I won't be missed.
Oh, but Lucatil, you will be missed. You are the fan favorite amongst the players. Alright, there is a little stairway here that you can take. And there's an item over here. I believe it is, a large Titanite shard for upgrading. Fantastic. Now there's a couple of options here. You can either go left and go through that door, or you can go down the steps here. We're going to go ahead and go down the steps because that is the way to the bonfire. A little bit of lag here. I'm partially fighting this enemy, but I'm partially fighting the lag. Alright, dropped an item. Soul of a Nameless Soldier. There are 2 items that these dog enemies can drop. The first being the Soul of the Soldier, and the second being a human effigy. So if you find yourself low on human effigies, there is actually a good spot here to farm them. Now, you have to be careful with this next enemy. He does have a tendency to attack that barrel and blow it up, which he did here, unfortunately. That is the only way to unlock the fire at the bottom of these steps, meaning we are essentially soft-locked. And I now need to use a homeward bone to teleport back to the previous bonfire. I ran out of stamina. Unfortunately, a regular bomb will not be enough to take that wall out, and the door to the right is locked. Alright, so we will go ahead and use a homeward bone here to teleport back to the previous bonfire. And let's go ahead and go back to Majula to spend some of these souls. Alright. I do want to branch out a little bit, open up the possibility for the sword. We need 7 strength and 10 dexterity for that.
Bearer of the curse. Seek souls. Larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king. That is the only way. Lest this land swallow you whole, as it has so many others.
Wise words. Alright, let's go ahead and bump strength up to... It needs to be at least 7 and 10 on dexterity. Now, if we push these stats to, I believe it is 11 and 15, we should be able to power stance the short sword. So let's go ahead and get started on that. We have just enough to make that work. Fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and put the rest into adaptability to increase my agility rolls. The soft cap for agility, I believe, is 100. Some players go all the way up to 105 or even 106. Alright, so let's go ahead and equip the short sword here. And we can power stance it. Wonderful. So, when power stancing weapons, the weapon in your right hand, or the weapon with the highest quote-unquote weapon class, is always the one whose moveset you will obtain. So if you are dual-wielding daggers, you will use the dagger abilities. If you are using a dagger and a sword, you will use the sword's abilities. I believe if you're using a sword and an axe, you will use the axe abilities. If you are wielding a two-handed weapon, the two-handed weapon will take priority. And yes, if you get your strength to a certain point, you can one-hand two-handed weapons in dual wield. Alright. So in one of the previous playthroughs, I believe it may have been part 2, we obtained the key to this house here. And the cartographer we met that gave us the key actually warned us to be careful of something in the house making sound. Alright, so first things first, you could go down this hallway and go straight to the bottom, or you could turn left. We are actually going to go upstairs here first to open the chest. We've obtained some upgrade materials and a few torches. Nothing else up here. Alright, let us go ahead and journey to the basement. Here on the floor is actually a map of the world, and lit up will show the story bosses that you have defeated. The goal is to eventually light up all the torches on the map. And as you can see, there are quite a few people who have died down here. All these blood stains on the floor. And I assume it has to be because of this jolly fellow. Three swings, that's all you get, stamina-wise. We have obtained a human effigy. And an Estus Flask Shard. And in this chest is a soul vessel. What it will do is it will allow you to unlearn all of your stat points and reallocate them to a new spot in the event that you, say, get a new weapon or aren't pleased with your current stat allocation. Very helpful if you need a certain setup for a particular boss. Alright, so now we are going to go ahead and go down the second option from Majula here. Go ahead and make our way down the spiral staircase here. And in the chest you will find a shield. Not the greatest quality shield, but definitely helpful if you don't have one at all. Alright, let's go ahead and make our way through the gate here. I believe this is a broken sword. A thief sword, yes. And as you can tell with my health bar, that restoration ring is doing its job. I'm almost fully recovered. Let's go ahead and fight the first enemy here. essentially just a circle strafe to avoid taking damage. Let's light the bonfire here. If you're playing this in the base version, you will simply have to fight through the knights on your way up. If you are playing through the updated version, there are actually Heidi Knights here as well, White Knights, if you will. They are much more powerful. I definitely do not recommend fighting them on your first playthrough until you've leveled up quite a bit, because they are very powerful. We are out of stamina. Alright, Sublime Bone Dust. Very important reagent for your Estus Flask. Soul of the Nameless Soldier and a Human Effigy. We have another Sword and Shield Bro here. Lure him away here from the edge. We have another item here. Lloyd's Talisman. Alright, so these levers, there are 2 of them in this location. Pulling them will activate the floor in the boss arena over here, giving you more space to fight the boss. So if you're looking for a challenge, I don't recommend pulling these levers because it will activate the floor and make it easier for you. If you're looking for an easy fight, go right ahead. It does make it much easier on you. Now there are certain cheeses to that boss fight. I won't go into too much detail about them here, but they do involve leaving the floor the way that it is without raising it. So if that's something that you're interested in, please feel free to look into that. Once you defeat the big sword bro, you activate both of the little sword bros. They will not interfere in your duel with the big sword bro unless you get too close to them. And then you simply need to de-aggro one by walking through the corridor. Just enough stamina to take him down. Now, I'm actually going to go this direction here. I could go the other direction and go straight to the boss. However, there is actually a second boss here that is arguably more difficult to defeat, and we're going to go fight him first. Okay, I have my daggers equipped as well as a sword. I'm going to also make sure that I have another weapon equipped, just in the instance that I run out of durability. Shield Bro is going to respect the duel once again. I have to be careful of that. I always try to circle around these guys to their right, because most of their attack animations start on that side, so you can get underneath of them. Alright, let's see what we have here. Divine Blessing. I believe that will restore spell uses, if I'm remembering correctly. do have to be careful here. He does occasionally do that third swing that, if it catches you off guard, can do quite a bit of damage. This is one of my favorite parts of this zone, pulling the lever and activating the drawbridge. Just an absolute piece of cinema right there. Wonderful design choice. Applaud the director and game designers there. Alright, let's open the chest here. Inside we have a Ring of Binding and 5 human effigies. Ring of Binding is very important if you are dying a lot and losing a lot of health. It will reduce the amount of health that you lose per death to, I believe it is half of what it would normally be, and your cap on reduced health will, instead of 50%, be 75%, so you will have access to more of your health bar. Alright, we are going to go ahead and switch over to the Estus Flask here. I see that my weapons are not doing too terribly. We're going to stick with what we have here for now. This boss is quite challenging to fight without a shield, at least in my personal experience. Wow, doing that attack right out of the gate. I am surprised. Unfortunately, we cannot power stance the axe because we do not have the stats for it. I would need to have a couple more points in dexterity for that, but that's fine. We are doing quite a bit of damage as it is. The trick is not to get greedy with this boss. You may think, well, I can get another strike in, but his attack comes faster than you can anticipate, and he does a lot of damage. And just like that, we have defeated the boss. That has netted us 24,000 souls, the old Dragon Slayer soul, and the old Leo ring. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have in the chests here. The Heidi Knight, Iron Mask, and Tower Shield. Tower Shield is one of, if not the best shield for damage reduction. It has a 100% physical damage reduction, and you lose very little stamina compared to most other shields when taking a hit. We also have in the other chest here a cracked blue eye orb. I don't know if I've gone into this yet, but cracked blue eye orbs essentially allow you to invade the world of the guilty, invading the world of people who have killed, I believe, NPCs and other players. The cracked red eye orb allows you to invade other worlds regardless of whether they are guilty or not.
Transient being. This is no place for one such as you. Be gone. You are not needed.
This gentleman is a member of the Blue Warrior Cult. He cannot be interacted with, I don't believe, unless you are at the top tier in the cult. So that would be rank 3. We are right now, I believe, rank 1. I don't think I've leveled up in the Covenant yet. Let's go ahead and light the bonfire here. Alright, and there is one boss left in this area. Let's go ahead and fight him now. No need to worry about our durability here on the weapons. This should be more than enough to take care of him. Also, I love the architecture here. The glass windows, stained glass windows I might add, are quite beautiful. We have a chest over there, but before I go grab that, I am going to eliminate the enemy here. The last thing you want is him sneaking up on you while you're trying to open your chest. And that's what happens when you try to dodge to the left. Alright, let's go ahead and open the chest here. If you're playing the updated version, this chest will have the Ring of Binding in it instead of the other one in front of the boss. But if you're playing the classic version, it will have a green blossom in it. 3 of them, to be exact. That will slow the progression of poison if you find yourself in a poisonous environment. Alright, let's go ahead here and equip the daggers in power stance. He always opens with that thrust attack he does. Very easy to stay behind him with the daggers here, because of how quick their attack is. He did catch me with the second one there. I ran out of stamina there at the last second. Dragon Rider Soul. Oh, went the wrong way. Let's go ahead and go up the stairs here, light the bonfire, and talk to our next NPC.
Are you from these parts? My name is Isia. I have come to spread the art of miracles, a practice of which I am a disciple. I can see that you are well suited to comprehend their wondrous power. But the cost of it, that's for your heart to decide. No need for miracles. The gods frown upon such soul scrimpers.
So this NPC will deal in, as she said, miracles. She will sell faith-based magical abilities, lightning and teleportation, other things like that. Let us now go ahead and return to the Majula bonfire and spend some of these souls that we've accrued. Let's take a look at what it would require for us to power stance the axe. We would need We would need 14 strength in order to do that. So let's check to see what our strength is at.
You found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you. To see light, to see hope, however faint it might be.
Yes. So we have found an Estus Flask shard. We'll go ahead and give that to her to upgrade the Estus Flask to 4 uses instead of 3. We need our strength to be at 14. Going to keep pushing adaptability until we hit 100. So we are now done with adaptability for now. May come back to that later if we need. Alright, so we also have acquired a Sublime Bone Dust. Now, if we burn that at the bonfire here, it will increase the amount of health that is healed by our Estus Flask. So we have now strengthened that to +1. Alright, and that brings us to the end of today's playthrough. Thank you so much for watching, and please feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube. It helps me out a lot. Or if you're watching from Twitch, please feel free to toss me a follow and keep an eye out for the next one. Alright, until next time.